I'm Idiotech, and this is You Should Play. Today's game is Slay the Spire, and it is brought to you by Mega Crit Games and retails for $15.99. For those of you who don't know, this is a series where I recommend games that I'm personally enjoying at the moment, because you might enjoy them also. Now, you've probably heard of Slay the Spire. It came out late last year, and I didn't bother playing it because it was in early access, and I tend to skip over early access games, at least until they're in a finished state or close to finished state before release. Now, this game hasn't released yet, and I really wish I'd played it a year ago. It's one of the best card games / roguelikes I've ever played. It's absolutely wonderful. I play it almost every day. I'm kind of addicted to this game, and even though I'm late to the party, I figured I'd share it with you anyway, because there may be some of you out there who haven't played the game yet. So, this is a great game, even if you don't like roguelikes, even if you don't like card games. Pick this up when it's on sale sometime, give it a chance. It may change your opinion on both genres. Okay, so I'm going to jump in and just show you how the game works. We'll probably play up until the first boss, and then I'll wrap it up. And I'll provide feedback and criticism as I go. Okay, so we're going to play. So we have various things we can do here. I'm just going to play standard just to show you the basic mechanics of the game. We have 3 classes to choose from. We have the Ironclad, we have the Silent, and we have the Defect. This guy is really cool, but a little complicated, so I'm going to show you the basic dude that you start off the game with. He has 80 HP, he starts off with 99 gold, he has an ability called Burning Blood, which at the end of combat, he heals 6 HP, which is kind of useful if you're a new player. There's a bunch of unlocks and things like that. So let's just go in, and I'll show you how the game works. This is our friendly whale dude. Now, the first thing you may notice is the art style. The aesthetic of this game is initially, upon first viewing, not that great. It's poorly rendered. This painting here is poorly rendered. A lot of the game's visual stuff is poorly rendered. Now, I imagine that's just due to the limitations of being a small indie studio and not necessarily having the talent on board to make better art. The card art, however, is absolutely wonderful, so I'm not entirely sure what the discrepancy is here. However, after playing this game for some time, the art style actually becomes charming and kind of part of the experience. Now, obviously at first glance, you may not think that's very good, and I can understand. I mean, everything about this is not well rendered, but it's not important. It does its job, it shows you what you're fighting, and that's enough, for me at least. And after playing the game several times, I came to forget about the art style, and it even sort of grew on me and made me kind of appreciate it in a strange way. So that's one criticism out of the way. The art style and the aesthetic is not wonderful, okay? So we're going to talk to this dude. Now, I've done this before, so we get to talk to this whale bro at the beginning of each run. So I can obtain a rare card, obtain 100 gold, lose 8 max HP and transform 2 cards, lose my starting relic, and obtain a random boss relic. Now, this is my starting relic up here. It's kind of useful. So I'm going to obtain a rare random card. And we have Barricade. Okay. Cool. Granted. Leave. Right. So this is how it works. You work your way through each of these winding paths. And you get to the boss. And then you do another one and another one and another one. And that's kind of how the game works. Very simple in its premise. You pick a path. Now, I'm going to pick one with some random events and things that I can show you that are different. So we'll go with this one. And we'll jump in. Okay, so when you first start the game, it's not complicated or difficult, and that makes sense because you're early on. We're on the first floor. Up here we have potions. This is our gold. This is our HP. Pretty simple. Down here we have cards. This is how much mana or energy we have. And that's it. We play cards. Now, one interesting thing about this game is you can see what the enemy's going to do on their turn. In this case, I can see that they're both aggressive and they plan to do damage against me. And on taking damage, they're going to roll up and gain 6 block, which you can see down here. So I'm about to take 11 damage to the face. So I'm going to defend against that. I'm going to take 1 damage, and I'm going to do some damage myself. So we're going to chip this guy down. He's going to curl up, which gives him 6 armor. Pretty simple. Things get a lot more complicated as you go. This is a prime example of a game that's easy to learn, hard to master. The furthest I've gotten is the 3rd boss, and I died. It is not easy, but it's easy to learn. Barricade. Block no longer expires at the start of your turn. That's awesome. And that's a power that I can play for 3, which will last for the duration of this fight. I also have Bash, which deals 8 damage and makes them vulnerable. Vulnerable, as you can see there, makes them 50% more susceptible to damage. And then I have 3 strikes. This is a problem, though, because I don't have any blocks. So I'm going to have to try and at least kill one of them. So I'm going to drop that, even though it applies vulnerable and is kind of a waste. And this. And he curls up. I'm still going to take 5 damage, but, you know, what can you do? Now, your health pool continues with you throughout the entire run. So at the end of fights, you don't refresh back to full health like you would in a normal CCG, which is cool, and it requires some management. You can heal yourself via potions, you can stop at campfires, you can buy things from merchants. Okay, so he is going to buff himself. That's perfectly fine. We'll just kill him. Easy. First fight. Now, when you win a fight, you get rewards. I got 12 gold. I got a weak potion, which applies 3 weak, and you can see the effect of that when you actually play the thing. And then and that goes up here, so I can use that at any time during a fight. And as you can see, weakened creatures deal 25% less damage with attacks, which is useful. And then I can add a random card to my deck. So I pick one of 3. So if you see this as kind of like draft in Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone or whatever CCG you've played, that's kind of how this works. You start with a basic deck with some attacks and defense, and as you progress and every time you kill a monster, you get to choose a new card to add to your deck, which is cool. Okay, so we have Exhaust, which means that when I use it, it's gone. All non-attack cards in your hand deal 16 damage. Okay, that's kind of cool. Gain 12 block whenever you're attacked this turn. Deal 4 damage to the attacker. And deal 9 damage, draw 1 card. I'm going to take this one because it seems overpowered. Okay, so I'm going to go to the merchant, just for the purposes of demonstrating how this works to you. Okay, so this is the merchant. We can talk to him. We can buy cards. Sometimes he has cards on sale. So this one's on sale. It's going to cost me 38 gold. Add 2 wounds to your hand and gain 15 block. I'm going to take that. That seems pretty good. Is there anything else that I want? Power potion, swift potion. No, probably not right now. I could afford this. Corruption. Skills cost 0 whenever you play a skill. Okay, so it cost me 3, but then for the duration of the fight, I don't have to pay for skills. Doesn't seem that great. Okay, I'm going to proceed. And now we go on to a question mark. Now, these are random things. They could be a fight, and sometimes they are these scenarios. Okay, so you walk into a room to find a large hole in the ground. As you approach the hole, an enormous serpent creature appears from within. Hoo-hoo, hello. What have we got here? Hello, adventurer. I ask a simple question. The most fulfilling of lives is that in which you can buy anything. Do you agree? I receive 175 gold, but become cursed with doubt. Unplayable. At the end of your turn, gain weak. Yeah, no, I don't think I'll be taking that. I disagree. The serpent stares at you with a look of extreme disappointment, and I leave. So you have those random events everywhere throughout the game, and they're really cool, and sometimes they give you great rewards. Okay, so we either work our way up here into a campfire where we can heal or upgrade cards, or we go up here through kind of a big monster, which tactically isn't the smartest thing to do, but you're going to get more loot if you do that. As you can see, he's an elite enemy. So I'm going to go through this one. Before you lies an elaborate shrine to a forgotten spirit. Remove a card from your deck and pray, or leave. Let's try it. I'm going to remove... What am I going to remove? Probably a bad idea to remove strikes and defends. Bash is pretty good. Barricade is pretty good. Block no longer expires at the start of your turn. I mean, this is nice, and I'm going to keep it. This is also nice. This is also nice. I don't know. Let's just get rid of a strike just to demonstrate this. As you kneel in reverence, you feel a weight lifted off your shoulders. I got nothing for it. I just threw a card away for no reason. Yay! Sometimes that happens. It's a roguelike. Okay, so we have a dude here that has 28 health and a dude here that has 12. They plan to inflict a negative effect on me, so I don't need to block, but I do need to be aware that they're going to do that to me. So what I'm going to do is hit this dude and apply vulnerable so he takes more damage. I'm going to hit him again and end my turn and see what they do to me. They've weakened me, which means my attacks do 25% less damage. and frail, which means I gain less block from my defense. As you can see, they've gone down from 5 to 3. Okay, add 2 wounds to your hand and gain 11 block. Yeah, I'm going to play this. And so wounds are unplayable, which means I've taken these things and they become part of my deck, which is a problem. But I gain a lot of block, which is kind of nice. So, you know, there are sacrifices to be made. Then I'm going to strike this dude in the face, and he's dead. And now we only have this little guy to deal with. He's going to do 3 damage, which is fine. And I'm going to... all non-attack cards deal 16 damage. And there you go. Done. He's dead. 13 gold, a strength potion, which, as you can see here, strength adds additional damage to attacks. And then I get to pick a new card. Okay, power through. War Cry. Deal 12 damage, apply it to weak. That's Clothesline. Draw 1 card, place a card from your hand on top of your draw pile, and exhaust, or add 2 wounds. I think I'll just take Clothesline. Seems like a solid card just to progress with. Okay, so now we're at a campfire. Now, because my health is maxed, I'm not going to rest, which would restore my HP. I'm going to use the Smith, which allows me to upgrade a card in my deck. So I'm going to pick something I enjoy using, like Bash, for example. Bash is a decent card that I use pretty regularly. Now, when I upgrade this, it'll either lower the cost or increase the amount of damage and effects that it does. So I'm going to pick it, and you'll see what it does. Okay, it increases the damage and applies 3 vulnerable. That's a nice increase. So I'll pick that, and there you go. And so every time I go to one of these rest spots, I can either upgrade a card, or I can rest. Okay, let's move on to the next monster. I know the art style's terrible. I do. I'm not going to tell you that it isn't. But there's something incredibly charming about these weird cultist bird people. Okay, power through. Add 2 wounds to your hand. Yeah, I'm not doing that right now. Bash. I think we just do damage to the face. Sounds good to me right now. He's not going to attack me. He's going to buff. But buffs don't hurt me. Incantation. My power is unmatched. I also like the shaking text. It adds some character. Okay, so he buffed himself. So what did he buff himself with? Ritual. At the end of its turn, gain 3 strength. Okay, so he's going to get more and more powerful and do more and more damage as time goes on. So I need to take him out. Yeah, let's hit him with this and then hit him with this. And he's dead. My powers were matched. 13 gold, blood potion. Okay, that heals me for 10% of my max HP and add card to deck. Now, when you get accustomed to this game and you start playing it, you know, frequently, you will get to the point where you just sort of power through this early stuff very, very quickly. I'm just showing it you step by step so that you obviously understand what's going on. But the game can be played pretty quickly if you know what you're doing. Combust. At the end of your turn, lose 1 HP and deal 5 damage to all enemies. Kind of like that. Rupture. Whenever you lose HP from a card, gain 1 strength and deal 6 damage, deals an additional +2 damage for all of your cards containing strike. Interesting. Okay. So the more strike cards I have, is that all of the strike cards I have in my hand or in my deck? I don't know. I'd have to pick it to find out. But I think I'm going to pick this one because AoE sounds nice. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, because we're 15 minutes into this video and there's still quite a ways to go, is I'm going to keep playing the game. And when we get to the boss, I'll come back and I'll show you what the boss fight's like and some of the more advanced mechanics that you'll experience in the game. All right, I'll see you when I'm at the boss. And we're back. I've progressed through this. I worked my way through these. I had to fight 2 elite monsters along the way, which did hurt. However, I do have a bunch of artifacts now and potions and a few extra cards. So I'll go through and show you what I got. I got Burning Blood, which I started with. I have Odd Mushroom, which makes me, when I get vulnerable applied to me, it's only 25% rather than 50%. Stone Calendar. At the end of turn 7, I do 40 damage to all enemies, which is very good against elites and bosses. Bronze Scales. At the start of each combat, I gain 3 thorns, which when they attack me, they take thorn damage, which is nice. And Pear. Upon pickup, it raises my max HP by 10. So not bad. Up here, I've got weak potion, which applies weak to them. I have strength, which gives me strength. And I have dexterity, which gives me dexterity, which is cool. So now we're going to jump into the boss fight, and I'll show you how that works, and then we'll wrap up the video. Okay, here we go. Now, the first bosses tend not to be as hard as the later bosses, as you would expect, but they are not easy either. They're not pushovers. This guy has 250 health. I have 83. Let's see what we can do. So his intentions are unknown. So I tend to, in this situation, try and go in and do as much damage as possible. So this costs nothing. This is a new card I got, by the way. Deals 6 damage. Add a copy of this card to your discard pile. So I'm going to play this. Do a little bit of damage. Bash. Let's try and apply 3 vulnerable to the guy. Okay, and then I'm going to go up here and apply weak potion to him. And I'm going to give myself strength potion. Actually, I'll do that next turn as with the dexterity potion. And I will strike him again. Okay, done. I should probably done the strength first, but you know, whatever. I'm by no means an expert at this game, by the way. I've only been playing it for a week. But I'm really enjoying it. I really am. It's extremely cool to just sit down. Maybe just one game a day. I just play it in the mornings or the evenings when I'm finished with work. I just really like it. Honestly, if this thing was on tablet, I'd play it every night in bed. Okay, clothesline. Deal 12 damage, apply 2 weak. Oh, also, can I just point out the music in this game is really well done. Like, really well done. I find myself humming it on stream all the time. It's great. Clothesline, deal 12 damage, apply 2 weak. Bloodletting. I gain 1 energy and lose 3 HP, which is nice if I'm trying to play, like, you know, multiple cards in a turn. Let's do clothesline. Now, he's going to hit me for 6 times on his turn. So I think it may be wise to defend some of that damage. I'll use bloodletting to get 1 point back, and there you go. That's the best I could do that turn. And I'm going to take a lot of damage to the face right now, as you can see. So yeah, bosses are not a pushover. He's going to hit me for 4 damage, which is fine, honestly. All right, clothesline, apply 2 weak. Power through, add 2 wounds to your hand and gain 15 block. I don't really need the 15 block right now. I'm going to play this combust card, because basically for the next 5 turns, at the end of my turn, it'll do 5 damage to him. Power through is not necessary right now. Clothesline would be good. So let's do some damage. And let's end our turn. He's going to do 4 damage. 4 damage is fine. I can take that. Okay, burn. Okay. He gave me an unplayable card, which is great. I think that means at the end of my turn, it said I was going to get burnt, which is bad. Okay, block no longer expires. It's going to cost me 3. Whenever you play an attack this turn, gain 3 block. Cleave. Deal 8 damage to all enemies. Now, that's good as an AoE, but not particularly good in this scenario. He's going to hit me 3 times for 2 damage. I don't have the ability to block right now in any way unless I do this. So I'm going to play this. And then I'm going to play Sever Soul. And then probably Cleave. Okay. And there we go. That's the best I could do, I think. He's going to hit me in the face. Hopefully I don't die during this boss fight. That would be rather embarrassing. Okay. New hand. He's going to do 4 damage. Anger, anger. They're both free. So let's do this. Done. The reason that card's good, I think, and don't get me wrong here, is that when you run out of cards in your deck, everything goes into the discard pile. It gets reshuffled back into your hand. And so every time I play that card, I get more and more and more of them stacking up in my discard pile. So when they come back into my hand, I have more of those cards. I think that's why that's a good card, but I could be wrong. I haven't seen every card this game has to offer. It's got like something like 200 unique cards, a ton of different artifacts, 3 character classes. It's got a ton of content, guys. All right, power through. I don't really need that much block. Sever Soul again, and strike. I can take 4 damage. All right, you give me your damage. Clothesline. Pretty basic cards right now. Yep, let's just hit him in the face. It's a pretty easy fight, honestly. Maybe a little bit underwhelming considering you waited for it, but that's just the way it is sometimes. I didn't get that many interesting cards on this run. Searing Blow can be upgraded any number of times. Bash, apply 3 vulnerable. All right, let's bash him in the face. Let's use a bloodletting, and let's do a searing blow. We're getting him down there. And 40, because it triggered our stone calendar, which is really nice to have, honestly. And these are random each time you play through. They come from secret rooms. They come from treasure chests. You get them as rewards for killing monsters. So every single time you play this game, it's unique, as you would expect from a roguelike. And because it combines that with the randomness of getting cards and building a deck, it feels limitless in terms of possibilities when you play. It probably isn't, but it feels that way. 95 gold, add a card to my deck. And this time we get a legendary card, which is awesome. So I gain 30 block. That's kind of a nice card. Gain 3 vulnerable, gain 1 energy at the start of each turn. That's also nice. Lose 6 HP and gain 2 energy and draw 3 cards. I think I'm going to go with Berserk, even though this block is insane. I think I'm going to go with Berserk. Okay, and we proceed on. And we get to open this treasure chest. Now this is cool because you get to pick a relic. So we have the Eternal Feather. For every 5 cards in your deck, heal 3 HP whenever you enter a rest site. Pretty useful, honestly. Astrolabe, hang on, let me just check. Astrolabe, okay, yeah. Upon pickup, choose and transform 3 cards, then upgrade them. That's nice too. And then we have the White Beast statue, which potions always drop after combat, which is nice if you're a regular potion user, which, by the way, I constantly forget to do, and everyone on my stream has to remind me. Okay, I think I'm going to pick, just for the sake of demonstration, I'm going to pick this one just so I can show you what transforming and upgrading looks like. Okay, so I can transform cards. So let's pick something I'm not particularly fond of or something I have too many of. I could use a clothesline. I could get rid of a clothesline. Let's pick another thing. Let's pick... I'm honestly not using Barricade very much because it's expensive. And let's pick... What shall we choose? Kind of like all of the rest of them. I don't really want to transform them, but I'll do it for the sake of demonstration. Okay, so we've transformed them, and they all just went into my deck, which is nice, and they all got upgraded. So if we look at my deck now, and we come up here, we got Brutality, which is innate at the start of your turn, lose 1 HP and draw a card. So if I play that, that continues on. It costs me nothing because of the upgrade. Inflame gives me 3 strength, which is really, really nice for 1. And then we have Flame Barrier, which gains 16 block whenever you attack this turn, deals 6 damage to the attacker, which is a pretty nice card. So all in all, not a terrible upgrade. But that's what that artifact gave us. So that's the game, guys. And honestly, I think it's absolutely fucking fantastic, and I thoroughly recommend it to you. If you have any interest in collectible card games, if you have any interest in roguelikes, you'll probably like this game. It's really good. For the price, you're going to get hundreds of hours of content if it's the type of game you like. I can't recommend it enough. The only downside is that it's in early access. But frankly, this game is early access done right. It has more than enough content to justify its price point right now. And if you do buy it, you're just going to get more updates and more content. They release stuff every single week on time. Go check out the Steam page and you'll see what I mean. It's a fantastic game. I thoroughly recommend it to you. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time.